Mellor, lovely cushion header. But Gerrard! Oh, you beauty! What a head, son! What a head!
Hey guys, welcome to episode number 7, where Dazza and I will be giving you our thoughts on the Everton Newcastle game. Everton Liverpool. Darren, on the Newcastle game, we've had some feedback where they're loving our podcast, but they couldn't find the Newcastle Liverpool podcast that we did. And there's a reminder to Gary the bus driver and to all of you, it was syncing live on Facebook. That just means that you weren't following us on Facebook. So what do you think you guys are going to do right now? You're going to follow us on Instagram, you're going to follow us on Facebook, and you're going to subscribe to us on YouTube. My thoughts of the game coming up, Dazza, what did you think of Everton Liverpool?
That first half was really, it was poor, very poor, slow. Passing was terrible. There was just no intensity. There was nothing moving forward. There was no link-up play between the front three. Salah went missing. It was just so slow. I don't know what they're like. They got the ball, like, you're watching, they're walking with the ball. It was that bloody slow. Like, just pass and go down there. Oh, no, we can't get through. We'll pass it back. Look, I understand you got to do that, but there was no, it was just back and forth. And what, someone create something, because this is doing my head in. And that was the thing that was driving me mad. That first half, I mean, apart from the Nunes shot that hit the crossbar and, sorry, I'm having a mind blank.
Luis Diaz? Or the one for
Diaz. Nunes and Diaz hit the post. But apart from that, we had no real kind of clear chances, right? There's just no creativity, no intensity. Everton looked way more threatening than us on the counter. Like Tom Davies probably should have buried that goal that hit that shot that hit the post. I mean, and that's the thing that's been really frustrating me since the beginning of the season, is that the opposition looks more threatening on the counter attack than we do. Although we have all the possession, we don't look like we can create anything. And that's just, it's so frustrating to watch. Salah's just in no man's land on that right flank. He's just nowhere, right, at the moment. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. Does he need something needs to change, or because he's getting, like, again, people go, oh, he's getting no ball, but maybe he needs to get, sometimes you've got to go find the ball too. You can't just be standing there all game waiting on the right flank with your hand in the air. Give me the ball. Go and find the ball. Go and get like, don't just wait for it. And yes, you get squashed down the flank, but like you're seeing towards the end of the air, like right towards the end, he got the ball, and the moment he gets a little bit of space, Tyler, he'll create. But he's not getting enough space at the moment. I don't know why. Something needs to change. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't really thought about it yet, but something needs to change with Salah down the flank. Again, Trent's been really poor with his passing as well, and normally he's pretty sharp. Like that game, he 3 passes went straight to Everton in that first. I'm not sure if it was the whole game, but one of them led to their counter attack that nearly got a goal. Same thing happened to Newcastle. He mucked up a pass in towards cutting across, goal. Same thing nearly happened again. His passing's been really off. And if Trent's passing's off, Salah's not playing well down that flank. That right flank is just not performing at all at the moment. Everyone's going, oh, why would you take Trent off? I'm like, oh, good, take him off. He was not performing well. Defensively, he was okay. Like, I didn't really have...
For Milner?
I don't know, man. I don't like it. Honestly, no, his passing was poor. Like, I agree with Klopp taking him off at the moment. Look, don't get me wrong, I love Trent, and like I'll be his biggest. I'll defend him and think that he's, I will back him up 100%.
You have defended him last,
and I will, and I'm not trying to. And I just think he was very poor, and I think he deserved to come off.
Fair enough.
That was my opinion. I just think, you could. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's just out of form at the moment, and he'll come back. He will. He's too good of a player not. But during that game, he was poor, which is a bit disappointing because it's the derby, man. Like him being a local lad, but the form is temporary, class is permanent. But that was in a nutshell the frustrations that I had. I was excited, and I was one of these people that wanted to see Carvalho and Elliott play in the midfield together, but it's not going to work, right? They're not. Yes, it was obvious it didn't work in that first half, right? But yeah, that's my thoughts on the first half. We can talk about the second half. What did you think, Andy? I'm always looking forward to hearing what you thought. But yeah, that was just basically. I was really frustrated. It was just like I said, Everton looks so like the team like Everton, who I picked at the beginning of the season, which I think are going to go down. They look more threatening. That's the thing that's driving me mad. They look more threatening on the counter. They look like they're going to score more than we do, and we have all the position because they. And it's just it's frustrating. Anyway, your turn.
No, that's right. No, that's good, mate. It's good because I mean, for me, funny enough, I don't have a lot to say about this game. I mean, in the first half, I mean, I got stuff to say more in the second half. I didn't agree with Klopp's substitutions in the second half. In the first half, Klopp said he doesn't know necessarily why we don't start a game. He was asked at the start of the game, why do you think that you seem to concede goals at the start? And Klopp said, I don't know. Well, again, I'm calling out his bluff. I think he does know that the reason we start the game up until we don't play well until we concede the goal. It's a complacency issue. We've just dropped our mind. The mentality giants are becoming mentality kids.
Yeah.
They're just not going into the game with the right mindset, number one. And obviously, we've talked about the midfield. How much more can we talk about this midfield? The build-up play was terrible. As you said, Trent giving away passes. I thought the Cavallio and Elliott might work in a game where we're not going up against that technical and well, not so much technical because it's Everton jokes, but the physicality of Everton. You knew Lampard, and they came out and they had a worldie of a game. They by far have had the best game under Frank Lampard on Saturday evening. So
correct,
Sydney time. So the point is, man, we started the game like in our usual fashion that we started pretty much every game except for Bournemouth, which is this slow, lethargic, lackadaisical, no urgency.
Yeah.
Just this, look, like Van Dijk just stopping in like, he does these things with his hands where he looks like the fucking
it's like he's doing the Macarena.
Macarena, Edward Scissorhand, he's all this.
Yeah.
And like it just, we just don't seem like we're playing with a reason to play. Like we're not playing like there's a point to prove. We're just going, well.
It was just that.
Like we this. You know what it is? It's like when you start believing that you're really awesome, and that you just don't have to prove anything anymore. There's a complacency now. That's why Harvey Elliott is playing the best, because he's still got a point to prove.
Yeah,
I'm worried about the mentality giants have just transformed into the mentality kids, and they started the game as though we were top of the table with 15 points in front of the of second place.
Yep.
Build-up plays crap. The passing's been crap. The energy's been crap. The whole setup, there's no intensity. Where's the intensity, Pep Linders? Where is it? Where is the intensity?
Yeah.
It was crap. It was just the first half.
It was terrible. It was so slow. It was frustratingly slow for just the way we were moving that ball. It was like, it was just.
We deserve to have lost. I can say it. We deserve to lose that game. If I was an Everton fan, I would be cut that we didn't win that game. We were on the ropes. And
we were. We had
two good chances.
Look at that guy that I can't remember. He nearly scored. He should have scored, to be fair, before Connor Cody got the goal disallowed. Is it Mbappe that he was a debut for Everton, their striker? Can't remember his name. I don't really care about him either. Yeah, that's him. Yeah. How horrible was that on the counter? They had 4 blue shirts. Like, should have been a goal. Like, there's no way that they Allison good save. He pulled off a couple of great saves. And to be fair, like they caught us on the counter really bad. I think we only had two defenders back there, and there was 4 blue shirts just waiting on the edge of the 6-yard or waiting on the box, just waiting for that ball to come across. And it was Mbappe or whatever his name is, and he shot it, and Allison saved. Should have been a goal. Tom Davies probably should have scored in the first half. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, then you leak into that second half. Was it a goal, Connor Cody? I mean, it's a very, very, very close call. I mean, I've seen so many different sources, but you can't. It's hard to see what angle because everyone changes the angle to show their thoughts on it with the pictures.
I get,
you
yeah.
need to see the decision from the straight line. You get some people, it was a goal, but they're showing it from a different angle. Just show us the same picture so we can all make a decision, right? Sure. Was it a goal, man? Very, very close call.
I mean, it could have gone either. I mean,
look, at the end of the day, I
don't
didn't care.
understand it. Like, if he looks I mean, if he's
to be fair, yeah, but if it was like. I wouldn't have if we were playing really good, and I don't know. I just look at that point. I had the shits. I'm glad it was chalked off, but we were just terrible. The only thing that changed the game was when Bobby came on and linked up the midfield to the front three, and then
I mean, Bobby's been playing.
Yeah, he's been playing well, and he was unlucky. How unlucky was he not to score? Salah was very unlucky not to score in that last bit, but Jordan Pickford, good old T-Rex arms, comes out and has a blinder.
He did. He had a great game. Actually, both goalkeepers were the man of the matches.
They were, yeah, and it was.
Split them.
But everyone said, "Oh, it was a classic Merseyside derby." I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think it was fucking.
The
good
classic Merseyside derby would have.
Yeah, I heard that coming out. Oh, it was a crow. I'm like, no, it wasn't. It was freaking terrible. There was no, it was end to end at stages that was entertaining.
The second half was a lot better than the first.
Yeah, it was like we were on the attack and we nearly got caught out. But no, it was. We got some. Yeah, again, we've been saying it since the beginning of the season, since the Fulham game. There's some issues. There's still a lot of issues. And again, Arthur Mello coming in, which we should touch on now. Like to get him on loan. I just think in a moment where we needed assists and creativity from midfield, we go out and get a guy who has no assists and he's injury prone. So we've gone out and got a midfield. Look, I hope to God he comes in, and I hope I trust in Klopp, like we said. I hope he comes in and does it. But the guy's got no last year in the Serie A, which you could argue is it as strong a league as the Premier League. No, I don't think so. Again, still professional football, right? He only played half. I think he only played 20 games last season with no assists and no goals. And what we needed a midfielder who was going to create, who could score goals, or that as a byproduct. But assists, you wanted something like that could assist, or maybe his build-up plays good. Like I've seen a couple of clips, but I just think that's not the midfielder we needed to go out and get. We didn't need a player who's more of like a holding role by the look of it. I don't know. I don't know him all that well. I could be completely wrong, but from what I've seen, just looking at the stats, 20 games, no goals, no assists, coming into like, no, that's not who we want. We don't want a player like that. I hope I'm wrong, and I've been wrong, and I don't care about being wrong. I want to be wrong again. This is just me speaking out of frustrations. I want to be wrong. I hope Arthur Mello goes out and
tears it up.
Tears it up. I really do. My fingers crossed, and he looks like a good player. But I just based on the stats, I just don't know what they're thinking. I hope to God that they and I do. Again, Klopp's probably got he knows what's happening. We don't. So hopefully that comes out and proves us wrong, which I hope that happens.
Was it Klopp's number one signing? No, number one preference?
No. It was a last minute. It was a last minute loan.
All I want to know is, what I want to know as fans. But you never know. You'll never get this information.
They can't concede. They can't.
Yeah. But I would love to know exactly where Arthur Mello was on Klopp's top 10 list. Please tell me he was at least on the top 10, right? Look, I don't know enough about this guy. Apparently, he was ripping it up at Barcelona on the youth level. Then he went to Italy.
Maybe injuries have held him back. Who knows? But again, we don't want another injury-prone player, and he's injury-prone.
We got him online. We can send him back. I think there's a $32 million agreement in principle. So if they decide to sign him, we've got the price set, right?
Locked in, yeah.
So am I against bringing Mello in on a loan? No.
No,
but
correct.
Because we had nothing to really lose, right? And having him in there is still better than having little young Clarkey in there, when they're still learning their game, right?
And that's true, right? And you're spot on.
Did we get better or didn't we? We got better, right? So, but I agree with you. Is that all we should have done? Of course not. Of course not. And we're waiting next season. The next season, apparently, we're going to make this big signing, which is probably going to be Jude Bellingham in Henderson's replacement. look, is he injury prone? We'll see how he goes. I mean, I think we've got nothing to lose. If we bring in that $100 million centre midfielder for Jude Bellingham and that doesn't work out, then that's going to set us back for a long time because we can't make these big signings and then Liverpool just doesn't spend money, right? So if we do spend the big money, we do start breaking our transfer policy, then it is not right. So I agree with you. I think I would have gone with like a Neves, someone that has proven themselves in the Premier League.
Probably would have
someone who can
really
score goals from outside the 18-yard when we play a team and they're parking the bus and Salah can't find space and Diaz can't find space. I mean, it was very unlucky. Nunez and Diaz had two great shots. I mean, especially Nunez. From the angle he was on.
Cracker. Yeah.
It was a cracker,
man.
right?
That would have been
nothing else the rest of the game. Nothing else.
Yeah,
so,
he was quite, like, it was a bit disappointing, really, that, didn't get involved in the game. And again, like, people, like, I'm sick of hearing these, the number, like, isn't it, like, depending on the tactics, you don't know the tactics, but I always thought when you're playing, like, I played striker when I was really younger, and my old man always told me, go and find the ball. Don't wait for it. Go and get it. And, like, again, I'm not trying to hinge on freaking, Bankstown Juniors to being but isn't that true? If you're not getting the service, find some space to get the ball. Find some space. Don't just wait for it. Don't just sit there all game. Get into some space where you can get the ball so you can shine. Because that's just not going to. It's just frustrating. That's the number one. It's a rule.
And when
it's basic shit. You know what I mean? Just if you're not getting the ball where you are, well, find some space where you can to open up. Don't wait. I hate that. I hate that waiting mentality, which is why I love Diaz so much because he doesn't stop bloody running.
No,
right?
that guy,
which was a little bit. Look, I love Darren and Andrew, and I know he's going to come good. But he disappointed me a little bit because he was just waiting and hanging, and
But that's what the traditional number nine was going to do.
He's
going to do, Darren. He's going to wait for the ball to come in because he's going to be that Benzema type man. He's just going to sit there and wait.
I know, and I know it's just hard because we're used to having. Like I'm just used to seeing, like
a Luis Suarez would go and fight and run the ball.
Correct, he'd just fight every inch of that pitch. The ball looked like it was going out, but he'd run and just grab it just before it went out, and it was a never-ending stop. And that's what Diaz is like. That's what Mane was like.
But Nunez did run back when he lost the ball.
He did, ran back, and I'll give him credit. Right? There was a couple of times where he did, which credit to him. I'll give him that.
I don't think anyone is sitting in it was like Balotelli when Klopp came in. You knew Balotelli was never playing for Liverpool again when Klopp came in. So you're not going to walk into a Klopp team and not be expected to run. And when you lose the ball, so
he tracked it and he got the ball back, and I'll give him that. And like I said, I think I was just disappointed. And it might not have just been in Darwin. I was just disappointed in the whole team, really.
Yeah, except for Alisson.
The lack of Alisson. Look, to be fair, Van Dijk had obviously he had a couple of shaky moments there, but he had a fairly strong game. I think he was, apart from Alisson, he was the second-rated highest player in that game for Liverpool. But again, there wasn't real. He couldn't really divvy out too much. But
I mean, Tsimikas starting. I mean, you can just see it's a substantial setback.
Because when Robbo came on, that changed a bit too. The intensity down that left flank changed a lot.
Of course, Tsimikas hasn't got the intensity of Robbo, and our whole game is built on intensity. So why do you bring players where and it's always he makes. I don't understand. Klopp makes big changes against United. He makes big changes against Everton. Keeps the current team for Bournemouth. I don't understand why we are making these changes and resting the players in games where we did. Like I would have started Tsimikas at Bournemouth, not against Everton. I had a feeling before the game, Everton, next time, Darren, I've got to do these little mini shorts before the game. And the problem is, because I was watching the game the next day too, so that's probably why I didn't do it. But it's like I knew Everton was going to step up and go and have a great game. I had a feeling. They knew that.
It's a derby too, isn't it?
But last year they didn't turn up. Liverpool were too dominant. We're just too good last year.
But we're not. But again, we're not who we were last year. And
exactly.
I am. And all these people go, "Oh, but you're sorry that Mane left." I said, "Yeah, I am. You and I have been the biggest. When we said from the get go, like, man, Mane is a huge loss. But still, I don't think having Mane things like maybe we may have got a couple of maybe we've been in a slightly better position, but I still don't think
Mane had some
Mane's-
really bad games too, right?
Yeah,
Like,
and that's what I mean.
he
I
had a
don't
lot of
Mane.
bad
Oh, I
games.
bet you wish you had Mane. I'm like, no, I mean, Mane's not going to come in and fix the midfield problems that we have because that's where it is.
That's where it is.
That's the thing that's like you get people go, well, it's frustrating when people say that. Oh, Mane, you're missing him, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, yes, we are, but no, not to the point where you're thinking that if we had Mane, we'd be top of the table and haven't dropped any points. No, that's just crap.
No, I
No
agree
chance.
with you.
We'd still be playing the same. It just maybe Mane would have got a late winner at Everton. Maybe we might be 3 or 4 points better off than where we are, but we still
Divock Origi scores the last minute headers.
he
against
does,
Everton.
yeah. But or maybe we got the winner against. Maybe we got a draw against United with Mane. Maybe, but you can't come out and say, oh, because Mane, if you had Mane, you'd be, you're missing him big time. You'd be at the top of the table. No, that's crap, man. You got no idea what you're talking about. Mane wasn't going to. If Mane's staying, we'd still be playing the same.
If we kept Mane and brought back Wijnaldum, I think we would have been top of the table.
There you go. That's a valid point.
Because you needed someone like that. Like I don't know. For me, losing Wijnaldum really annoyed. And the funny thing was, when we signed him, I was like, "What are we signing Wijnaldum for?" I mean, why are we signing a left winger? Klopp turned these wingers like Lallana and Wijnaldum into these amazing centre midfielders, which that completely transitioned the way we played. And when we lost him, I was actually devastated. And I agree with you, man. Like, losing Mane wasn't going to turn the game around. I mean, we lost against United in midfield. We drawed against Fulham and Palace because of the midfield. We never controlled the game ever. What game have we Bournemouth, right? Whatever. But what game have we felt like we've controlled and dictated midfield? Even Newcastle, when we won it, like, we played well at times. We probably deserved to win it because they were playing anti-football. We showed more urgency. Fair enough, we deserved to win it, definitely. But what game did we really dominate the midfield? Really? I mean, you can't Bournemouth.
Take the Bournemouth game out of the equation. Just when we nowhere. None of them. Apart from Bournemouth, right? None of them.
But we didn't need to control the midfield that game because we did. But like, they were just such a level behind us in that game. It didn't really. You could have thrown out 3 Milners in midfield, and we still would have won the game. Right?
I love seeing Milner coming off the bench. I think of you straight away.
I know you do. And I thought that when Tsimikas was at left back, I was waiting for you to be like, I wonder what Andy's thinking. But we didn't watch the game. I didn't watch the game until the next Sunday morning.
Yeah.
So, for me, man, I don't know. I just think look, Napoli is always a difficult game.
Yeah, so we've got Champions League next, right? So,
even when we won the Premier League, we played them when we won the season, I believe, when we won the Premier League, and we played them in the season when we won the Champions League, and I think both times we lost. Or did we? No, I think
we won. I think we had them last year.
There was one where Salah scored, and I think we did end up winning that game.
Yeah, but there was one time. I think the year we won the league, we lost both games. I'm pretty sure. I think they beat us at Anfield, and I've got to have to check the results again. But yeah, Napoli midweek, and then we got Wolves on the weekend. So yeah, 2 tough challenges, definitely. I don't know.
Do we do score predictions for Champions League games?
Yeah, may as well. I don't know how we're going to do the Champions League games moving forward. I guess we should probably maybe double up on the next episode. But yeah, we'll work it out.
Yeah, we'll go. What was your sort of player ratings for Everton?
Trent's a 4. Gomez is a 4. Van Dijk, I'm going to give him a 7. Tsimikas, 6. Harvey Elliott, 6. Carvalho, yeah, he couldn't really break free. He couldn't really do too much. He wasn't physical enough still. So, yeah, I'm going to say 5. Fab, yeah, 6. Salah, he can get a 4 for me. Diaz, 6. Nunes, 6. Alisson, 8.
I don't disagree with any of that. I just probably wouldn't. I just didn't. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I just don't. Sometimes the only criticism I have of Van Dijk, dude, is just I feel like he lacks sometimes that urgency. Sometimes he just lacks that determination to get to the ball.
Well, lately he has. Yeah, I mean, it's just been.
I mean, he's a colossal, right? He's a colossal of a defender, and I've always loved him. And I always thought that him and Allison were the difference in terms of turning the club around. And Fab too. Fab didn't have necessarily a bad game against Everton, but I just felt like
he couldn't.
he had to pick up all the off the ball work, man.
Correct. Yeah, he had to. Exactly. He was that. When you got again, like I wanted to see Harvey and Elliott and Carvalho to see how they go. Was it the right game to try him in? Probably not, but
it would have been a better game.
Yeah. So I mean, again, when you got Fab, the only kind of experienced, hardworking midfield. Not saying he's the only hard worker, but the experienced midfielder there in that holding position with Carvalho and Elliott. You know, he would have been covering them a bit. You know, he would have been. He had his work cut out for him there. That's for sure. But anyway.
What's your score predictions for Napoli?
Is it home or away, Napoli, this week?
I think it's
home.
I believe so. Let me quickly check it. It's in Italy. It's in Napoli.
Italy. Yeah. I can't see us winning. I think it's going to be a draw.
Oof.
1-1.
First time you don't predict Liverpool to win.
Yeah, 1-1 or something. It's going to be a draw over in Italy. I can't see us. I mean, yeah, maybe I should just say that, and then hopefully they win, and then I'll just say we don't win every week, and we'll win. Because some always.
I'm actually going to say we're going to lose 1-0.
Yeah, fair enough. So you think we're going to lose? I think we're going to draw.
Maybe they will watch this podcast and go out into the game with the right mentality.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, and then
if you're watching Trent, if you're watching Salah,
so we got Wolves. Oh, sorry,
that has to be cut out.
Oh, bloody hell! We got Wolves at Anfield on Saturday. Look, it's going to be like a 1-0 win to me.
I don't know anymore. I'm stuck.
It's hard.
I'm lost for words. Huh?
It is.
I don't know what Liverpool's turning up. If it's the Liverpool that we all love, then we're going to wallop them 3-0. If it's the Liverpool that turns up against United, against Fulham, we're going to lose. Because I think Wolves has enough to. Correct.
They got it. I think they'll be They probably will be one of the. Would you say one of the more difficult opponents we're going to have based on at the beginning of the season? If you're looking at the draw, including how crappy United were. I mean, they've picked up a few results. I mean, they're probably one of the tougher ones that we're going to have over the last. And maybe Newcastle probably was probably a tough one, but yeah,
it didn't have to be.
Nah, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, you look like you're falling asleep. So
no, I'm just I'm knackered. And I've actually got to shoot to work now. But
all right, guys. Well, so let's do the Wolves game maybe after. Napoli on Friday or something.
Or
Thursday.
We'll work it out as we go.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, guys, for joining us. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Make sure that you leave us a comment and tell us what you think about the game against Napoli, who should start, why they should start, and what is your score prediction. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Mella, lovely cushioned header. But Gerrard! Oh, you beauty! What a head, son! What a head!